I want to thank everyone for joining us as we kick off HPD's annual March on Crime initiative and discuss some very special challenges that we are facing this year along with our planned solutions. Of course, I want to thank Chief Acevedo and the entire command staff and all of the 5,300 police officers that we have in this city for just doing an exceptional job in keeping our city safe. Today is a March on Crime, and did I get it right? Lucha Contra el Crimen? Did I get that one? Is that?
You get bilingual pay for that today.
That began in 1984 when leaders in the African American communities came together and partnered with the Houston Police Department to fight rising crime rates. And I want to thank Pastor Nash of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church for being with us here today, because he's been active in fighting crime in the community on multiple levels for so many, many years. Don't get enough credit for it, but I want you to know that we appreciate it. The program was so successful that 2 years later it expanded into the Latino communities, and then in 1991 became a citywide program. The program is built upon the premise that no one group can do it alone, and neighbors need to work to help neighbors, and communities need to work with HPD, and in turn, HPD needs to work with those communities. Everyone needs to take responsibility for helping to keep this great city safe. And to highlight this citywide commitment, the mayor's office each year presents a proclamation to HPD. And I want to take the opportunity to do that now, especially, and that's why I want to thank the council members for being here today. It may carry my signature, but it represents all of us as partners with HPD. I won't read all of it, but I will say that the City of Houston commends March on Crime, Lucha Contra el Crimen, for the tireless work throughout local communities to inform citizens about crime prevention and its efforts to reduce criminal activity. And so therefore I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor, City of Houston, joined by all of these council members, hereby proclaim March 2020 as the March on Crime, the Lucha Contra el Crimen month in Houston, Texas. And Chief, let me present this to you. And if you'll accept it on behalf of every single law enforcement officer that we have in the city of Houston, in appreciation for the work that they do each and every day, 24/7, to keep our city safe. Quite frankly, it's a proclamation, but we can never do enough to say thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
We don't want to wait until we get to a situation where it becomes really a crisis, so to speak. We want to check things where they are. Last year, we provided $1.5 million in overtime last year when we saw things where the numbers were starting to creep up, especially even as it relates to homicide, and we arrested that, and we end up falling again well below 300. Which is when I came into office a little more than 4 years ago. So we want to reduce crime by targeting all violent crime with an emphasis on gangs, murders, aggravated assaults, aggravated robberies, and to focus on dismantling and disrupting gangs in our city. Houston is experiencing moderate fluctuations in violent crime. The uptick in crime is a concern to everyone, and it's important for us to get on top of it now. Today, I'm announcing the allocation of an additional $1.5 million for officers overtime to target violent crime throughout the city of Houston for a 6-month period. So this is intended to put more police officers on the street in real time for the next 6 months to target those areas, those key areas throughout our city where we are noticing an uptick. And we want the word to go out that we intend to get on top of it, and we are simply not going to tolerate illegal or criminal activity within our city. Violent crime totals remain unstable due to the unpredictable violence that is being perpetrated by documented and undocumented gangs within the city of Houston. By allocating $1.5 million, HPD will be able to deploy additional resources and implement strategies that will help increase officers' visibility in targeted areas and reduce the violent crime rate. Now, we certainly recognize that they cannot do it by themselves, that it's going to take all of us working together with HPD in order to reduce criminal activity within our city. In addition to increased overtime funding, I have asked Chief Acevedo to work on a proposal for technology enhancements to include an upgrade of the real-time crime center and smart cameras so that we can leverage much-needed technology to be responsive to violent crime in the city. Even though we have more police officers than we did 4 years ago, we still need about 600 more. In the meantime, until that can take place, we need to supplement our men and women in blue who are on our streets with enhanced technology. Quite frankly, we need more eyes, because if you notice, when people are breaking in and they're robbing now, they are covered from head to toe. Makes it more difficult to discern who they are, but they're getting into somebody's car, somebody's trucks, and we need to have real eyes on the streets to be able to find them. We need to be able to do the analytics, and it requires a supplemental technology to what we have. And so I've asked Chief Acevedo and his team to put forth what it will take, a proposal for their technology enhancement, and the estimated cost of that is about $8.5 million. And I'm going to ask the private philanthropic community in our city to help to fund the technology enhancements, and quite frankly, we need those technology enhancements, and we need those right now. When you combine the technology enhancements with the additional overtime of $1.5 million, I think you can see some significant improvements in public safety throughout our entire city. The use of public-private partnerships will help make the city of Houston stronger and residents much safer. I want to make something very clear, however. Houston is a great city to live, work, and visit. It is the most diverse city in the country. Our unemployment rate is at or below the national average. We are building complete communities and creating new job opportunities through the Hire Houston Youth Program. For every estimated gang person that we have in this city, and we estimate 20,000, it is our attempt this summer to provide a summer jobs program for each one, 20,000, to match those gang members, in essence, to put them out of business. The city ought to show more appreciation and love for our kids than the gang members themselves. And so working collectively with the overtime, police officers on our streets, with the technology enhancements, and hopefully the private sector will help to fund that proposal of $8.5 million, and with the other things that we are doing on City Council and in the city of Houston, we believe that we can get on, that we can create an even safer city than what we have today. We are not going to let gangs and other violent criminals destroy our city, and this city belongs to everyone. Families and hardworking people truly represent Houston values. And today, we are putting violent criminals on notice that you can either stop breaking the law, or you will be stopped by HPD, as well as the people in this city as well. So we want to deal with it now. We want to get on top of it now. We don't want to wait till it reaches a crisis state. And if we get on top of it now, then I think for the rest of this year, we can have a pretty good 2020. That's the goal, that's the plan, and we want to move forward with it now.